Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decode, the place where we try to make sense of corporate mumbo jumbo. Today we are looking at Heidmar Maritime Holdings Corp, Nasdaq HMR, and boy is this a boatload of paperwork. It seems like they are trying to sell stock, but who is buying all that stock? We are digging into an F1 form that was filed in June 2020-25. The main story here seems to be about Heidmar selling more of their common shares to a company called B. Riley Principal Capital II, also known as BRPC2. It involves a big agreement where BRPC2 has committed to potential hitting risks with this company. Before we dive in, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you're subscribed. We also have a Discord community. Join the channel. The link's in the description below. First, let's frame this document. This is not the initial filing, which is why it is F1 void. It's an amendment to a previous registration statement, meaning there has been some changes. This filing registers a plan for BRPC2 to resell shares that Heidmar may decide to offer them. In very simple terms, the document facilitates Heidmar to tap BRPC2 for up to $20 million. While they could sell all those shares, it's important to know Heidmar won't get any of the money from the sales directly. BRPC2, the selling shareholder, pockets the cash. There is a plan to sell more shares to that B. Riley company with a cap that says BRPC2 can't own more than 4.99% of the outstanding common shares. At the time of the filling, the shares were trading at 1.70 cents. This prospectus doesn't guarantee Heidmar will get that price. BRPC2 buys at 97% of the average price over a specific time on the purchase date. This essentially incentivizes BRPC2 to create more liquidity in a market, and that usually means shorting the stock. The more they are short, the cheaper it gets for them to get it and resell on the market. That type of price setting has a lot of risk when you are a small company, but seems like a clever idea since it provides a floor so no amount of shorting will bankrupt Heidmar. Even though BRPC2 pockets money of reselling the shares initially intended for them, Heidmar might get money by reselling their shares to BRPC2 in a committed equity financing. The more that BRPC2 resells, the more that the company gets, which is very similar to the ATM at the market strategy. The good thing about that is that Heidmar can use that money to buy vessels as well as for general corporate purposes. It is important to consider the background of the company itself, and not only the stock. So before investing, it's key to understand that Heidmar is a controlled company that is controlled by RIA and Maxos. So you won't have certain corporate governance requirements, and you may not have the same protections afforded to shareholders. It's basically their show. Now let's have a look at some financial. Here are key numbers to know. Cash from operations decreased from $4.3 million. The company lost $6 million instead of making $1.7 million a year back. Him for better or worse, at least in the most recent quarter, this is not looking great for Accession for better or worse. At least in the most recent quarter, this is not looking great for HMR's immediate past. Now checking the balance sheet, the good news, their assets increased nearly 10 million. However, liabilities are also up and equity has gone up a bit, but not that much. This is a speculative bet, and that can't be ignored. This is what they think they can do, not what they have been doing flats. Let's check the risks to see if those risks have anything to do with the financials. There is the usual risks applicable to the tanker and dry bulk sector, but there are a few that are interesting. Seasonal fluctuations, since China usually does less business during the first quarter. Also, they are a shopbroking type of business since it's largely personal relationships. Since they transport crude oil, climate change regulation are a big consideration and mention recent proposals to impose significant fees on any vessel entering a US port, where that vessel is owned by a Chinese shipping company. So there is a bit of international political tennis that is going to take effect on profitability. The filing also mentioned how they are dependent on the spot market, and if rates decrease, it will definitely affect ability to pay dividends. They are a small company and are now a public company, so there are risks, specifically not having proper team to comply with accounting and other regulations. Additionally, they are exempt from parts of the Sarbanes-Oxley reporting requirements as an emerging growth company. Diving straight back here now, the majority of share 91.9 Tenjin holds are held by RIA and Mustachos. Their interest may conflict with yours. Now, what to make of all this? Heidmar is in a tough but potentially lucrative sector. Ocean shipping seems to be doing good since there are ever more supply disruptions. The dependence on the spot market could make profits volatile since those rates are dependent on external conditions outside the company. Climate-related and international risk can't be ignored. Heidmar does not pay dividends, so its success depends on whether shareholders trust the ability of management to properly reinvest profits in the company. With their leadership arrangements, you may not like it, but the existing top management team will be there to succeed. And if you don't agree with their vision, tough luck. The biggest potential downside comes from reliance on a handful of massive clients and this ongoing deal with that B. Riley Capital Company, and overall, this investment would likely be a more high risk, and there seems to be too many outside interests in Splee Interesting. Alright, that was Corporate Decoder breaking down Heidmar Maritime Holdings' latest filing. What's your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more SEC deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching, see you next time.